faster and more effective. So if you've ever felt lost in data chaos and you're trying to improve your customer experience, let us help. Arigato.
Thank you very much. And Mark.
Thank you, Tyson. Is your company struggling with digital transformation? I'm Mark from Coffee AI. We provide easy-to-use data analysis tool for everybody in the manufacturing industry. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, we already help more than 100 companies in Taiwan, including the largest lens supplier of iPhone. With our AI software, you can improve your product efficiency by 17% in just 1 week. So come to me, I will show you how. 日本語喋れるから心配しないで。
Oh, wow.
Jin, sorry I don't speak any Japanese,
But you're still very awesome.
yeah. Good evening. My name is Jin, the CEO and founder of Crescendo Lab. So people nowadays spending more time on messaging apps other than other social platforms. So if you're doing marketing, you should spend the marketing budget on the place where people spend the most time on. So with our solutions, we're able to help brands to collect user data, unify those data, and activate those data on messaging apps to increase your user values and engagements. So right now we've been working with over 500 brands, and sending out over 4 billion messages per year. So if you want to reach out those users effectively, come talk to us afterwards. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So we hear a lot about smart work, and if any of you have a boss, you've probably heard about that from your boss. But I'm curious what smart work means to all of you, and I'll start with Ilya.
Yeah. Well, actually, smart work to me means applying intelligence to solve a problem. For example, to help a customer locate a shipment or innovate in a product feature. Now, what I've seen is a 6-man team receiving paper utility bills and typing this information into a spreadsheet.
Really?
Yes, I don't think that's considered smart.
Wait,
Of course, we automated them, but it's
six
men.
people
6 people.
just to input data.
Yes, just typing data.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Sounds like a lot, not a lot of
Lost
fun.
money.
Yeah, but that is not applying intelligence, right?
Yeah, definitely. Exactly, that's what people are not good for, right? It's the job of computers. People are not meant to sit in front of the computer and put data in spreadsheets. So what we work with large organizations with very complex data. We work in private sector, we work with manufacturing and engineering companies, and in public sector, we work with the UK police. So imagine that a large organization has lots of data. Often you have different departments in different countries. You have different formats, different languages. So if you've ever tried to ask something to another department, you know how painful it is.
Yeah, and you said some of them actually have 200 computer systems?
Exactly. So with humans, like without using technology, you are not able to work smart, as you said. You just have to do it if you want to innovate.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 200 systems that don't work together, it's not too smart to me. But it's really cool that you can take the data from all those places and put it together.
Yeah.
And how about yourself, Mark?
Yeah, for me, that the smart work means you do nothing on your work. Why? Let me see. Okay, let me say. So, because you already taken all the necessary actions before it happens. So imagine like in the factory. Now we have every factory has a Kanban system. So they show green light, yellow light, red light. So if something wrong, you have to fix it. But imagine if you have a quality prediction model that show you this batch is going to be fair. So you can take action in later stage of the production to change the parameters to improve the quality. So eventually the product will become good product, not a failed product. So you don't need to spend time to fix the product, and your salespeople don't need to spend time to call the customer and say, oh sorry, this batch is going to be delayed, something like that. So that means you can do things before it really happens. That's smart work.
Gotcha. In your experience though, how much time have you actually saved companies from launching a new product?
Yeah, depends on different scenario, but generally speaking, in our case, like our customers usually save like from 17 to 50 different times you can save.
How would that relate in maybe weeks or months?
Yeah, for example, for the new product launch process, like before, like in the manufacturing industry right now, they are doing like trial and error. They do some pilot run, see the result, then change the parameter, do that again. So with the AI, with the machine learning, they can use the past data set, build a prediction model, and provide some parameter recommendation. So using the parameter recommendation data, they can do the NPI process from like 3 weeks to like 1 week.
Cool, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. How about yourself, Jit?
Yeah. So we are in a different industry. So in the marketing industry, I think smart work means you have to be effective and efficient. So the whole marketing, the whole idea is that you want to market to the people, to the right people, with the right time, with the right channels, right? So like everyone is using messaging apps, and if you're online, right, so you should be able to reach out to those person in a more effective ways. So this is my definition of smart work in the marketing world. And how do you market to those people with the right content, right? The first thing is you need to have a system in place to really manage those people's and their data in your system. Because it used to be like brand that relies on the third-party world, like Facebook and Google. They're trying to advertise those people on those platforms. But right now, it's not really working right now. So you really need a system that stores those data by yourself, and then you can start talking to those people in a more personalized way. So that's my definition of smart work in marketing.
And what marketing channels can we use your software to help make more effective?
So the idea that we want to do is we want to be a communication bridge between the brands and the users. And we believe that the messaging app is the most dominant way, the most dominant platform for reaching out users. Either you can use EDM or emails or like other platforms, but we still believe that the social messaging apps are the most important ways of reaching out those people.
What is EDM?
EDM, like email marketing, you send out like spam emails to those people that people will never respond anymore.
I didn't know what EDM is, so
Yeah.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting topic that Jim mentioned about efficiency. And I think one of the challenges that we see in our space, especially automated paperwork, it's always associated with headcount reduction. And I know that's not really the case. So if I continue the example that I made with this retailer, those 6 people were relocated into customer service department. They were not fired because it's a very valuable employees for the company. And instead of wasting their time and resources in a basement typing data, they were moved to help customers to answer calls that allowed this retailer increase their customer satisfaction. And I think that's all about it. So we need to use AI as a helper tool. It's not the enemy. It's not taking anything from us. It allows us to reconstruct the way we work and the way we deliver operations. I think the efficiency part is extremely important in that sense as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because in Japan, customer service is very important. And if you can move people away from inputting data into a spreadsheet to actually helping customers, which Japan is really great for, it could even make Japanese customer service even better. But Camilla.
Yes, but we hear all those problems, right? But if you think about it, it's never really a technology problem, right? Technology is just a tool. It's usually the people. People are by default resistant to change. And
That's what my wife says all the time.
Mine as well.
Well, I won't comment on that. So yes, so people are resistant to change, but we can, with technology, you can, oh, actually no, let's think about the Japanese market. Japanese companies have been innovating in hardware for many, many years. But for some reason, you've been lacking in software. So if you are not really going to utilize what tech offers and join it and bridge it with people to make their lives easier, then you will be left behind. The competition will take over. So that's my point actually.
But Camilla, I did hear of one pretty cool use case for Untrite, and that's when a big corporation buys another corporation, obviously they use different systems.
Yes.
But how can you help with that process?
Yes. So that's one of the main things we see. We see that large organizations collected a lot of data over the years. There are lots of systems from 80s, 90s that they don't talk to each other. So there is lots of repetitive work, lots of reinventing the wheel. So with joining everything together by helping people to get overview of what the company really has, and there's a lot of value, right? You can innovate, you can reduce your costs, and like Ilya mentioned, you are not replacing humans, you are augmenting them, you are making them just more efficient.
Thank you for sharing that. And Mark, so your company helps manufacturers.
Yeah.
One use case is, let's say, producing faster.
Yeah.
But what are some other challenges manufacturers are facing?
Yeah, I think Japan is pretty similar to Taiwan. We are facing the aging society. So in the manufacturing industry, actually the biggest challenge is for those experienced workers, they are retiring. So how to preserve their skill, their know-how, become a headache to all these executive levels in the manufacturing industry. So that's why we bring this solution to the manufacturing industry. We help these people to use the data they have. And for those skilled workers, these experienced workers, they know what feature to select to make the right prediction model. So by using this model, you can preserve their knowledge, their know-how inside the company database. So for any new coming employees or younger generation, when they join this group, they can check the model and see, okay, in my process, I know which features are really important because the skill can use them to build the models. So by doing so, they can try to keep the experienced workers' knowledge.
Gotcha. So what I took from that is my common complaint is I always want to duplicate myself so I can make my company more effective. So maybe I'll go to in the future.
Yeah.
That can make the ultimate company of just me. But sorry for Jin. What are some challenges that marketers face?
In the marketing industry, I mean, the challenge is always the same. Like, it's very costly to get the new users, right? But once you get the new users, and then you acquire those users, you want to talk to them like in a more personalization way because you want to increase their users' values. So like, there's some companies they're doing things like CRM and sort of stuff that they can engage with the user and more things with the data help.
And what is CRM?
CRM is a customer relationship management tool that you can store the user data in your system. So with our solutions, what we can do is we can help those people to predict what is the best time to send out a message. So we can also help them to decide which audience is the right audience to talk to. And we also do a little bit product recommendation to those people. So with these AI tools that we can essentially help those marketers to make better decisions within their marketing operation and automation process.
So what is the best time to send a message?
It depends, right? Some people really open up the message in the morning. Some people, they open up their message afterward. So it really depends on the data you store, and you analyze the data and decide it by the machine and let them to decide for you.
Cool. No, that's very cool, I think. And next, Jin, I'd like to ask you, why Japan? Why now?
Yeah, so for us, right, so we're building solutions around wine. So wine is pretty big in Taiwan, Thailand, and Japan. So we have offices in Taiwan, Thailand, and Japan already. And we've been working with so many brands in Taiwan and even some of the very famous Japanese brands like Rakuten, Family Marts, and Nitori. So we even have some inquiries from Japanese brands trying to use our solutions. So it's very obvious and a natural decision for us to come over from Taiwan to Japan and trying to introduce our solutions into the Japanese market.
Cool. In addition to, sending messages at the right time,
Right.
what are some other solutions that you help with?
So, I mean, that's mostly what we do, but, but we also help them to do a little bit of data integration like Camila just mentioned. It's also like you're having so many systems in place, and the system, they are not talking with each other, right? So if you're using like big system like Salesforce, and you can also integrate our solution with them, you can have a holistic user profiles for a better decision in your marketing department.
That's very cool.
I mean, think about this for a second, what Jin said. I think it's not only important for you to be efficient in your marketing and also to send the right message, you also have to be a little bit faster than the competition. And that is an important thing, that's why now. Now, we already heard in the previous panel mentioned ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is a great reminder to us that AI is ready for the prime time. It's here, it's ready and it's working, and now it has interfaces that allow you to set it up without being a data scientist. And I think you should ask yourself also a question: what will happen to your company if you can do things twice faster than you're doing them today? Or what will happen if you do it 10 times faster? That is the impact of AI on operations. Again and again, we are talking about AI helping us, and that is precisely what it does. Helping us to be more efficient and fast, and etc.
So you said that it's easier to implement now. So let's say I don't consider myself a technical person. I'll just hire someone technical, but I know how to use a spreadsheet. Can someone like me use AI tools?
Definitely, and that is, like for instance, we had a Zoom call with your accountant, and it took us 30 minutes to set up extracting data from his invoice. And he was pretty happy because now he realized that he doesn't have to do that. But I think Mark has much better use case than our automation of paperwork, because it's really 30 minutes.
I wouldn't say it's better, because if you can save my accountant money, I can make him charge me less. So it's very important. For me, it's the most important thing right now.
Yes.
But yeah, Mark, how about yourself?
Yeah. So there's an invisible bond between Taiwan and Japan. So we see each other like brothers. So while we success in Taiwan, we definitely want to bring such market intelligence to benefit the Japanese manufacturing industry. So it's like you found something good you want to share with your brothers. So per our experience in Taiwan, our customer is actually doing data analysis by every department, every employees. But furthermore, it's more important for them is for the company cultural change. Because when you give your employee an easy-to-use tool, they can do data analysis by themselves, then digital transformation become my thing, not some people else things. So they will start to think about, I want more data. So they will think about where I can get the data. So the whole company will transform to the data-driven culture. That's what exactly the digital transformation wants.
But for me, like when I think manufacturing AI, it seems pretty complicated. But is your tool actually easy to implement?
Yeah, as long as you can use Excel, you can use our tool, for sure.
Okay, it's good to know. And Camilla?
Yeah, it's like Marcus or Ilya pointed out. Right now, AI is really, it's not technology, right? It's like you have lots of solutions that are no code, and ChatGPT is finally showing many people, non-technical people, that you can eliminate noise and find what you get the solution almost immediately. So for us as a UK company, Japanese market is very, very exciting because finally Japanese companies are realizing that digital transformation is very, very important. Japanese companies have lots of data and they know that there is a hidden value in it. So we've been going through similar challenges like aging population, supply chain disruption. And I know that Japanese government is pushing Japanese companies to bring back production into Japan from China and from other countries. So this demands knowledge transfer and know-how of what you actually have within the company, right? And this is what we feel our technology can help with.
Cool, yeah, and I think like companies like Aichi, Panasonic, they have tons of companies.
Oh yes.
And
imagine if you could find that another companies work on similar projects and they can just collaborate.
I think that's really cool. And Jin.
Yes. What was the question?
Why Japan?
Why Japan?
Yeah, any last thoughts?
Yeah. I think technology evolved very quickly. So I think it's not like we're trying to, you have to keep your core competence in your business. However, it's really important to really understand how technology works and how technology can really help you on a business.
Good. Thank you very much. And thank you all for sharing the benefits of AI and how it can lead to smarter work. And so everyone here, you must have a lot of questions about what's possible with AI, but probably how can you actually implement AI in your organization is actually the tough question. And you have 4 experts here who has helped launch smart work AI initiatives for large corporations, government agencies, and even medium-sized corporations. And here's your chance, Aichi, to talk with these experts, and they'll be over there. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Tyson, for leading a really interesting panel. It definitely underscored for me how important digital transformation, or DX, is, and how it's really the next step in our work life. And thank you to all the startups for all your great sharing. For our last panel, we're going to be looking at sustainable futures and how our startups are contributing to that. So I'm going to have Yiling Lim come back again. She's the Executive Director for Market Launch for 500 Global. Take it away, Yiling.
Hi everyone again. So all night we've been hearing from smart city, smart hospitals to AI about solutions that serve humanity. But I think I'll be amiss to not talk about humanity's role in building a more sustainable future, in sustaining our resources. How can we use technology to really build a more sustainable future? I'm really honored today to be moderating our 4th panel, Sustainable Future, and to be joined by 3 startups. And these are 3 companies. One that reduces excess inventory through liquidation process. A company that reduces carbon emission through metal 3D printing. And a company that reduces paper usage through blockchain technology. Please join me in welcoming my fellow panelists. First up, we have Jeff Gu, CEO and founder of Turing Search. Liana Smartman, CEO and co-founder of Poland Technology, and Alexandra Diliza, CEO and founder of 3DK Tech.
First off, if I may. It's Alexandru, not Alexandra.
Okay, Alexandra Diliza,
Yeah.
like pizza.
So,
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
okay, I'll remember that next time. Thanks, Alex. That's probably easier.
Better.
Well, I'm really, really honored and glad to be hosting this panel. And given that we're currently, an hour and a half into all this panel discussion, so let's keep it fun, more casual, right, and exciting. Okay? Maybe we'll start off with the excitement by having Alex share a little bit more about 3DK Tech.
Oh, yeah, sure, thanks. So, metal 3D printing can really help reduce manufacturing time, costs, and CO2 emissions by a factor of 10 times. So, why are we still using conventional manufacturing? That problem, that question has really been bothering me. So much so that I've spent the last 10 years getting a PhD, trying to find what the core problem was, and patenting the solution to that problem. And I'm happy to say it's here and it's working. Hi, I'm Alex, and I founded 3DK Tech to really replace conventional manufacturing. We've already started getting adoption from the aviation industry with Cathay Pacific, the mobility industry with MTR, and the semiconductor industry of all industries with Nexperia. So, if you are sick of delays and you want to speed up your next product deployment, please hit me up. The future is now.
Thanks, Liana. Can you actually share more about Poland Tech?
Too much waste from factories is either burned or thrown away in landfills. Konbawa, I'm Liana, co-founder of Poland. In 2022, last year, we helped global MNC customers like Unilever and L'Oreal sell over 2 million units of unsold products. These unsold products which are going to become business waste. So, using our international marketplace and our liquidation management system, we want to help manufacturers here in Aichi that we have met, like Kokusai Denryo and Taihei Tires, to reduce their business waste and hopefully meet their SDG goals too. So if you're interested in our zero waste world and working to a sustainable future, come and talk to us later. Thank you.
Yes, this is a privileged education, university issued and corporate issued. You usually require 4 people for 6 weeks to issue just one. I'm Jack, I'm the CEO and founder of Turing Certs. We are a global identity platform that issue paperless micro-credentials. We can reduce this to only 1% for 15 minutes. And we've done that for 150 universities, governments, enterprises, including UC Berkeley Law School, including WHO Line, that use our technology to provide this kind of paperless micro-credentials. We are backed by Morgan Stanley CEO and former Google CEO Taiwan. That's made certificates secure, verifiable, and paperless. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the introduction. Alex, I heard you say that your technology and metal 3D printing actually can reduce not just time and cost, but also carbon emissions by 10 times. Can you share a bit more?
Oh yeah, sure. Actually, all 3 problems are solved by the same solution. Metal 3D printing. So, to give you a little bit of background, when you make something, anything, you have to manufacture it. And there's a bunch of manufacturing steps, each step with its own cost, time, and CO2 emissions. What you can do with 3D printing is replace all of those with just one step, printing. So you can go from your computer, your file, to an end product within a few days instead of having to wait a few years to actually have it manufactured. And I'll do you one better. There's, we're in Aichi, Toyota here. A car is made out of 30,000 parts. You can make the same car out of 300 parts. So you can reduce each individual part by 10 times, cost and time, and the whole car by another 100 times.
That sounds very compelling and interesting. So I think my question for you is, why aren't more companies using that, and hopefully reduce costs for consumers as well?
I mean, that's the whole plan. But that's a very good question. Honestly, it's a question that has bothered me for years. And it was the topic of my PhD. Basically, the answer is quite straightforward. It's quality. The quality wasn't there. So when you 3D print something before, you would not be able to pass like safety regulations and all of that. So this is where we come in. Our patented technology actually improves the durability of 3D printed parts by a factor of 200 times. That brings it on par or even exceeds conventional manufacturing, the durability and quality achieved through conventional manufacturing. So there's a few other reasons, but this is the major one. Like 80% of the contribution is this.
It sounds like you solved that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, as a user, the user of a lot of consumer products, I do want to ask you, how big is really this issue of excess inventory? And on the second thought, I mean, liquidation processes doesn't seem like it's something new and revolutionary. So please tell me and tell the audience, right, how does Poland do it differently and better?
I think if we were to use Alex's technology, we probably can resolve the business waste issue faster and before 2030. But in reality, this is not the case. That's why we exist. So in Japan alone, there is an estimated of 22 trillion yen's worth of business waste. And from our larger customers, about 10 to 20% of their total inventory are slow-moving or excess inventory products. If unsold, becomes business waste. If that's not an appalling statistic, I don't know what is, right? So before Poland, manufacturers and retailers, the way to deal with liquidation is already online. It's very tedious and there's no visibility, right? And there's no record. We help solve this problem by helping manufacturers sell the unsold products online and privately, and also using that sales data to track the environmental impact, because otherwise this is going to be business waste, right? But you save the business waste. So I think it's really important for us to also share a case study by one of our customers who have an oversupply of their body soap. You're familiar, everyone in the crowd use body soap, right? So manufacturers produce many kinds of body soap, different flavors and whatever. So in one market, there's an oversupply. When they work with us, we give them the right buyer, the right price. They were able to clear because they wouldn't be able to do that by themselves because it's not easy for them to get access to verified buyers. And because they don't want to saturate the domestic markets. So we are solving a problem by giving them options so that these unsold products don't become business waste. I think no one wants to waste a good thing.
So you're actually helping them open up new market, but really by reducing and removing their business waste.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Wow, okay. Jeff,
Yes.
for you, we're on the topic of sustainability, right? And you held out that paper cert earlier on. So I must ask, I mean, did you start Turing certs because you just wanted to reduce paper usage? Are you a tree hugger?
So people might ask, like, do we do Turing certs only to save paper? Is that the only goal we want to do? But actually, that's only the first step. So I think in 21st century, people rely too heavily on paper. Paper is too fragile, right? You can easily tear it out. It's not for long storage. You can put it out there for 15 years. It will get destroyed easily. You cannot easily send a paper across the sea, for example, to California, within a flick of a finger, right? So it's not a very good way for people to store information, especially very valuable information. So what we want to do is we want to digitalize the way people store and transport information. But if we just make an ePDF, everyone right here knows how to fake a PDF by using Canva, Adobe, right? Editor, 15 seconds, we can change the diploma name to our name any places. So it happens everywhere in the world. So what we want to do for the first step is actually digitize things and then put an e-stamp on each of the documents. So all the document can easily authenticate it. All the information are true and easily validated. So that's the thing we are doing for the first step of Turing sets.
Can I add something? As you're talking, it just occurs to me that your application would be perfect, especially in locations that are going to be affected by rising water levels and also typhoons and flooding. A lot of people lose their birth certificates and all of these documents that are important for them to move on with their lives. That is so cool.
That's right. That's actually come to the final vision, the end game that two researchers want to reach out to. So the final thing we want to do is to create a global identity that is across ocean, like connect governments, connect countries and people. So imagine like when you give birth to your birth certificate is your birth certificate, right? And throughout your entire lifetime, you have so many achievements. So you have your proof of education, you have your proof of employment, and all your financial data, healthcare data, everything there just scattered around, right? It's not easy for you to find any one of them. It's not in your drawers, just out there in places. Can you put every single one of your life document into just one ID cards? Or maybe we don't need ID cards in 21st century. It can be on your fingertips, your pump out. It's your face, right? The technology the previous founder just mentioned. So you make yourself a portable identity no matter where you go. You can unlock services that need KYC. You can prove your identity, and you don't need to have luggage to bring so many documents with you, right? To get a visa will be super easy. So I think that's a final goal what James want to do. We want to build identity across the entire Earth, and that's the goal for our company.
Right, I would totally agree with Jeff's application because even in online liquidation these days, if you compare it to traditional liquidation, you deal with a lot of paper, including all the custody docs, clearance, and the MSDS files of all the documents for moving inventories from one country to another country. It's a mess. So yeah, definitely need to digitize with supply chain.
That's right.
I love your vision. It reminds me of this Netflix movie that I watched called Altered Carbon, where everything is downloaded into a disk and then you put it in your bag. So maybe that's not so much science fiction.
You do it in a good way.
Yeah. The other thing as well, another use case I just thought of is actually for investors. We'll know exactly all our founders from birth to now.
That's right.
That's scary.
That would be like a more comprehensive Twitter.
Okay, now since we're on the topic again of sustainability, and you all have actually experienced working with a lot of corporates, enterprises, institutions, I do have to ask this, and maybe we'll start with you, Liana, right? You work with a lot of the large CPG brands itself. Now, obviously, they do care about their excess inventory and reducing that and earning extra revenue in the meantime. But do they really understand their impact on Earth, on resources, and how much do they actually really care about sustainability?
Well, firstly, I can say that there are two angles to sustainability. First is cost recovery, definitely, right, financial standpoint. Second is about your environmental impact, right, how much resources you're using and making profit off that. So the MNC companies, manufacturers we work with, definitely cost recovery is the driving force behind the liquidation strategy. Imagine you produce so much things, products, right, and you're hoping that you can capitalize, monetize it. And then it becomes, unsold products. And then business waste, you have to pay money to clear the business waste from your warehouses. That is not a good scenario for the finance team. So definitely they want to also present themselves in the best light possible. Now with the trend of ESG reporting, they care a lot about the brand image. They care a lot about the brand protection, which is why we need to sell, even when they clear down the products privately, right? So then again, selling is definitely one of the ways, donations another to increase, boost their reputation as brands who care for environment and not trade something that can still be used. No one wants to be seen as wasteful.
I think it's amazing how you're helping all these brands go from being afraid of their wastage and data being leaked out to actually actively reducing that wastage itself and providing them with reporting, right?
Oh yes, definitely. I forgot to mention that. The data of unsold products becoming business waste is a particularly sensitive one, right? This is not something that they will easily reveal or share. But the problem exists. So therefore, fixing the problem of unsold products from becoming business waste will definitely naturally fix the brand image, right? We're not doing any greenwashing here. They need help with digitizing the supply chain, managing the end of product life cycle. So we have those data, like where does waste goes to, and what is being done for preventing it from becoming waste. So that would certainly help with the ESG reporting in terms of the raw data that we're able to provide.
The topic of data and verifiable. Jeff, what about you? You've also worked with a lot of enterprises from mine to many, many others, right? In your experience, do these enterprises really care about sustainability?
Yeah, I think in current century, like all the corporate, they are finding a new way, not only to monetize by their product, they also find a way to save the earth by sustainability purposes. So we do many things for enterprise to add things to their ESG reports. For example, there's a large company in Taiwan. We actually do a lot of volunteer activities, right? So they send out their employee to rural places, and they go for farming, and then they're all like core production, their time spent. They want to put everything into a record. So that's why we use blockchain technology to certify all the activities they have like contributed to these activities. So they can make the entire package of record as verifiable things and add it into their ESG report. So the other who kind of become our data source, we become the authenticator who provide digital certificate, and then everything can be aggregated to their ESG report for a higher value, higher score, then investor will be favored about that company. So that's one example. Another thing that we can also add value is, you might heard of a company called Dun & Bradstreet. D&B, they are a 100-year US company. So what they do is they audit the other company and provide ESG reporting for that companies. And they face some problem. For example, when they give out those ESG report to the company, they are afraid of someone in between might change the content, right? We change 20% to 10%, no one knows, right? So how to make all the report immutable, right? We believe everyone is honest, but we need to do a lot of these things to make sure technology can save the integrity of the report. That's the first thing. The second thing is, company who owns the reports has the right to determine who can view what part of the report. So confidential data are protected. They can have higher control of the accessibility of their report. So that's the two things we do for ESG reports. One is for accessibility, and the other one is for security of the report. Yeah.
Jeff, I can hear the excitement in you.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, let's slow down a little bit. I feel anxious just listening to how fast you speak. Okay, let's slow down a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mission to save
I know. Oh, wow. Now, we've heard a lot of optimism coming out from these two speakers. Alex, I do want to ask you a more difficult one, which is we've again heard a lot of term greenwashing, and you work with a lot of large, more traditional companies, especially automobile manufacturing. Let me ask you this. For those who don't quite yet believe in the importance of sustainability, why should companies care?
Ooh, I'll start it off with on a light note. Right here we have three potential solutions. You have inventory, and then you have distributed, right on time manufacturing, and you got Jeff who can certify it throughout the whole process. But now on a more serious note, listen, we've been doing individual responsibility for a few decades now. And it hasn't moved the needle at all. We're actually accelerating our CO2 growth, CO2 emissions growth. So it's obvious that it's not working. And just to give you an idea as to why it's not working, we have 6 gigatons of CO2 are emitted every year just by the manufacturing sector. That's about 18 to 20% of the entire global CO2 emissions. That is not accounting for the energy it takes to manufacture or the energy it takes to transport it wherever you need to transport it in the world. And so that's 6 gigatons as opposed to a few hundred tons on your individual self. So that's a massive difference in scale. So the only way that we can actually make a difference is if we improve our scaling, our industries in that regard. Now, like I said, I was alluding at the beginning of the answer. This is why we're here, right? Startups are dynamic. We can come up with solutions to problems much faster and implement them faster. And the beauty of it, we can slot right into wherever the vertical, whatever industry, whatever company, we have solutions for that. Just that companies need to want to, verify and reduce inventory and switch to a, right on time and right need manufacturing.
Yeah, companies need to work together these days for SDG number 17, partnership to meet the SDG goals.
Yeah, 12 and 9 as well. However, there's so many.
I'm sure we can list and include all of them.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting what you mentioned about how you're all really well suited to work with partners and corporates and government agencies. And I think the truth is that you all three carry a lot of weight because you have done that. You've worked with a lot of automotive, manufacturing companies. Liana will talk about the good news later, but you've also worked with a lot of large brands as well, and same with you, Jeff. You've all had the experience of creating change and changing mindsets of corporates. Now, let's bring us back to the present, where we are here right now in Nagoya, Aichi, Japan. So my question to you is, why Japan? Why do you decide to expand your business in Japan? And maybe I'll start with you this time, Jeff.
Yes. So I think Japan is a really great country that put a lot of focus on robotics, automation, on going paperless. And I know in 2020, in November, there's a new policy enacted in the government saying 99.4% of all the procedures within the governments are going automated, going paperless. So you don't need a stamp, no more physical stamp. So I think that's a really, really good news, and that makes sure that we are at the right time, we are at the right place, and I think in terms of we are getting ready to collaborate with all the partners, companies, enterprises, government right here to go forward. Thank you so much. Yeah.
That ties very nicely because earlier Alex was saying that the individual effort is not enough, you have to come at the top, and you're basically saying that in Japan, the policies, regulations have been put in place to incentivize and to really urge a lot of corporates to take action.
It's very true.
Liana, what about you?
Well, I have 3 reasons. Sit for it. Number 1, market size potential. We know that Japan is the 3rd largest economy, with manufacturing as one of the key industries. We have already worked with the likes of Unilever and L'Oreal in other markets across Southeast Asia, across 6 markets. So we want to work with the likes of Unilever and L'Oreal. And recently we met with Kao, who validated the problem and also expressed interest to work with us. And then here in the home of Aichi, we also met with Thai Tires, as well as Kokusai Namgyo, who also validated the problem and expressed interest. So Thai Tires, have said that they would love to work with us after 1 month of, dating. So we're really excited about that. So the second reason is definitely SDGs, right? A lot of Japanese companies are starting the DX process to try to meet the SDGs. Now, if we want to work towards SDG, how we are going to track the goals, right? How well we do that. And I think having our systems digitized and workflows digitized and start looking at the indicators and also providing the data to see, how well we're making progress towards those goals. So I think we are well positioned to definitely help Japanese companies, manufacturers to do that. And lastly, my favorite one, I think the cultural environment in Japan allows us to have even the Japanese term called motenai. What a waste, right? If we have to throw away unsold products in very, very large quantities, And the other day I visited Gifu from the top. I see a lot of mountain tops. And I like about Japan is that we are able to harmonize nature with industries. Now in Asia, we're not, the rest part of Asia, we have a lot of landfills. Imagine the effect of landfills and in fact burning away. Even in Japan, we learned that 78% of waste is being burned. So I don't think that is a good scenario for the future. So let's work together to reduce business waste. Thank you.
3 very, very compelling reasons. I hope that's not our signal to go off. But it'll be soon. We'll have drinks and a lot of networking really soon, okay? Let's just finish off with Alex first.
Oh, finishing up with me, okay.
I'll give you the chance to have the last word, right?
Right, oh yeah. Thank you. That's very kind. So why Japan, right? Wow, that's a no-brainer. Japan is a manufacturing powerhouse. And what happens here reverberates throughout the whole world of manufacturing. And it's not just that. Like, from my experience, Japan also has an ethos, like Liana was saying, an ethos of reducing waste. I remember I was doing my undergraduate degree in Bucharest in Romania, and one of my favorite professors, he was teaching us about methodologies to reduce waste, and the major one was lean manufacturing. That eventually became into lean startups and all of that, but this is where it started. So it was a methodology formed at Toyota, right here, Nagoya, Aichi. And that's kind of why I'm here. And because I want to take that legacy from the previous generation and just bring it into the next generation and do something good with it.
Lovely. So, if you are a company, an enterprise that wants to reduce excess inventory, you want to reduce carbon emission, you want to reduce costs, reduce time to manufacturing, and you want to increase security, verifiability, not sure if that's the right word, and if you really believe in the concept of Tainan, please come and speak to these 3 startups at the networking session. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure hosting all of you.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for hosting that wonderful panel. Really inspiring. And I think all of you probably feel the same way I do, that tonight, hearing from all the startups and their fresh ideas and their passion and their enthusiasm and their high interest in being involved in the Japanese market is really, really exciting. So I think I mentioned earlier this evening that all of the startups have been here for the past 4 weeks in Nagoya, meeting with companies, learning about the Japanese market, and building community.